Masechet Hullin Daf Kuf Hayt Amud Aleph, 3 lines down by the Mishnah. Tipat halav shenefela ala hatichav. A drop of milk fell on a piece of meat in a pot that was cooking. Im yesh ba benoten ta'am ba'ota haticha. If there's enough milk to put a flavor into that meat slice, asur it's asur. Ni'ayr t'kidirab, if you already stirred it before you can have a chance to acquire the flavor from the drop. Im yesh ba benoten ta'am ba'ota haticha. It's enough to put a flavor into the entire pot, asur, then it's asur, which has to be more. Marambaya says, Tamad lo mishashal ba'al madoraita. An isur flavor item without substance is asur midoraita, which means that when something is mutar, cooked with something asur, and there's a flavor being given over, the mutar thing becomes asur because of that flavor that was given over. And therefore, it's teaching you over here that if meat is cooked with milk, even if the meat is removed from the milk, the meat is still asur. Okay. The Isa, so now we see from there, and it must be Doraita. The Isa Rabbanan, because you want to say that the Rabbanan, mi basaba halab might have alone agreement. Why wouldn't you not say that Doraita, that meat from milk is asur? That what? Meaning, it must be the Rabbanan, it must be Doraita. That what? Flavor gives, it makes something asur, even if it got removed. Because it's only the Rabbanan, then you would have then you would have learned the right you would have otherwise learned that it transfers over from this concept transfers from meat and milk to hidush because this idea of meat and milk is a hidush. Right? There's no reason. First of all, they're mutar by themselves, but only asur together, and even the cooking's asur, not just the eating. Okay. Now, hidush but if it's hidush, then even if there's no flavor, it should still be asur. So why did the Mishnah say it's only a sword if it gives a flavor? It must be that it's not a chidush. And since it's not a chidush, it must be that we can learn the halakha about this type of concept that something asur fell inside it and you removed it, it still says asur if it's a flavor given over and it was removed. Now, Amar says no. That all wrong. Derech b'shua Torah, since the Torah said that meat and milk is asur with cooking, that's why it's asur with the flavoring. Amar says, once milk gave a flavor into meat, חתיכה עצמה נעשית נבלה, that piece of meat becomes like a nevela, becomes asur completely. ועושית חוד אחד אותם מפני שהם בינה, and now all other spices inside that pot are also asur because min maybe no, well, something with its own type, all becomes asur. Okay. Amar le موجودة بيد رب عمار لرافينا. Mechti, let's see. And what? He wants to say that since Rav Kiman Mashmata, who does Rav say is halacha? Like, could it be that was that something makes its own type is not become batel? Lema pli Ravira, maybe the arguments Rava. Rava holds, Ksavara be the Ravida holds, Kosher min, anything that's mixed with its own type with something else that's not the own type. Select, you move the own type as if it's not there. And therefore the thing is not the right type, overrides that type, and therefore nullifies it. Gemara says, he says no. If milk fell into a pot with liquid, then that would definitely overpower it and make it a sore for that meat. Hachman with our case talking about, then a thick gravy, and therefore, since that gravy is made, with thick meat for gravy, that's why it's different. Well, my kasavar, what does Rav hold regarding the meat? Because if he holds able to squeeze out the flavor, then it's mutar. Should be mutar. That's the case. The more the slice become nevila and make other things asur, should become mutar. Ela kasavar asur must be that even if you're able to squeeze it out, it's still asur. The Itma verse says, Rav, Rabbi Hanina, Rabbi Yochanan, Amre, they will say, if you're able to able to squeeze it out, it's still asur. Shmuel, Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Amre, they all hold, if you're able to squeeze it out, it's mutar. Now the Gemara says, Savar, Rav, and they really hold that even if you're able to squeeze it out, it stays asur. The Eitma bird says, because I had a meat that fell into a large part of milk. Rav holds asur v'halav mutar. The meat asur milk mutar. If he said that asur, if you want to hold that if you're able to squeeze it out, it makes it still asur. Halav mutar. Why would the milk be mutar? Halav nevila should be considered nevila. must be it's mutar afterward. Where it says, now Alam Kasavar Rav really Rav holds if sure that's not asur, be able to squeeze it out, it is asur. Bishani Hatam, how come milk by that was sober meat is a store asur still? The Amar Krap is lot of Ashil Gedi Bahala Bimo, don't cook the goat with the smallest milk, teaches you Gedi Asratu Rav Lo Halaf. The meat is the problem, not the milk. The Gemara says, Savar Rav Gedi Asratu Rav Lo Halaf. Is that really true? That only the meat's the problem? Vaydenbart says, Hasi Zaid Basava, Hasi Zaid Halav Shbishlan Zemzeh. You have a half Zaid meat, half Zaid of milk cooked together. Amar Rav holds. Local Ashatu, you get malkut for eating it. They know okay, but you don't get malkut for cooking. Visa the tach asatura gedi asatura b'lachav. You want to say that the meat's the problem, not the milk. Actually, that might okay. Why do they get malkut for eating hati shu'ur, who's only half excited? Whereas elam kasava rabba halamanam, so must be the milk is a sore. B'achmas yinus, what's this case over here that says muzar? Ki yon shenafal toch yora rudach must be a case where the meat fell into a boiling pot of milk. The meat absorbed the milk, but did not spill it back into the milk mutar. Right, okay, sof kinaya had place when the boiling stops, then the meat will shoot the milk back into the pot, and then the milk should be asur. Where I said kishagam v'seikut, not a case where you grabbed it out right away. Okay, uva we said earlier. Hatizai basaka hatizai basakhan shmuzam zemzeh. Look, marav lukach yitova in lukach b'shlo. We said before half exact milk, half exact milk was cooked together. You get Rav says you get malkut for eating but not cooking. The Gemara says manashach. How do you explain this? If they combine to make a kazait, abishlan namelaki you should get malkut for also cooking. Even if they don't combine, you should not get half malkut for eating as well. Where it says leolam lo masraf there is no combine. But the yara gidolam case where they came from a large pot, meaning the two half kazayats came from a large pot on which the kazayat of meat and milk cooked together. The Meir says no. After the kabbalah, you do get malkut for the cooking. Lechen ten the read maintain the old one by top. Kirim shalka chinush like malkut for eating it. That will kabbalah get malkut for cooking. Ube'ezer bishul amri. What type of cooking do we say this by? Ki bishul be'achrim achlim eto mahmad bishul. The case where the goyim would eat it, basically that cooking, meaning fully cooked. That type of cooking you be chayab. Now the rest of the shesach tonight. Maybe the halacha of the milk being able to squeeze out a piece of meat is a macharat tanaim. Why? Because I see. The Tanya, right, it says, "Kibab halab shenafla al haticha." Milk drop fell on meat slice. Kevin shenafla on tam haticha. Once the meat drop put the flavor into the slice, haticha. It's mahana. I said the meat itself becomes nevela. But it says kol achatum kulam pnei shemidam. We said before as well that it makes all slices because at the same time. There be that according to the Bida. Hamim say no. Ad shetin ram rotev b'kibat v'hadichot. It has to be enough flavor of milk to put into the soup, the shreds of meat sediments, and all the slices. That's when it makes it asur. Otherwise, it's not. Rabbi says, "Near the Bida b'shloni ad b'shlok kisar." Bida in halachot makes sense that it's asur when he did not stir the cover the pot or cover the pot. The Hamim b'she'erif he said Hamim was chayav. It makes it asur when he did stir it or cover it. Right, says my lo ne'er v'lo kisar. It means stir or cover. Either below ne'er klav lo kisar klav. He's not stir or cover at all. Why did it become asur? Mivla b'lam and it will only have absorbed it, but not spill out the slices to the other slices. Maybe you only stir it at the end, not the beginning. Below kisar and you're not covering the beginning, only at the end, and therefore the milk which had gone into the first slice came out. Why is anything asur? The milk that went in came out. Because the asur must be hold that whatever gets squeezed out makes it still asur. The Gemara says Michal de Bida Savar must be, and if we try and infer that what Bida holds, Kinam B'chila B'asaf B'chila B'chila B'asaf Asur. I might have black law. You ask him a question too. If he started only from the beginning to end, or he covered from the beginning to end, it's asur. Why? It should not have been absorbed at all. The first slice, the Gemara says, I may have blown the area where he did not stir or cover it well enough in order for that to happen.